Hello and welcome back. Firstly, I'd like to just say thank you very much to everybody who subscribed and liked the videos I've made so far. And the comments I've been getting have been so constructive and so helpful. Thank you very, very much, and please keep it coming. The last vlog, as they call these things, was about Porthmadog and Tremadog, and I wandered around the place looking at the history and looking at the scenery, and so many of you got back to me and said how very much you liked that kind of format. So this week I'm bringing you to one of the most beautiful waterfalls in Wales, perhaps even in the UK. And as it's St Valentine's Day, I thought I'd tell you of a tragic love story. On leaving Porthmadog, I followed the A487 to Carnarvon in the direction of Bangor before turning north along the A55 North Wales Expressway. Just north of Bangor, I looked out for the distinctive landmark of the Aber Falls distillery grain silo, at which point I turned off to the village of Aber and followed along the narrow lane up to the Aber Falls car park. I should point out that this road is very narrow, with passing places, and even in January I had to back up 3 times. Those with large vehicles are perhaps better off parking in the village if you can find a spot. Parking at the falls costs £5, and it's about a mile from the village to the car park and a little over 2 miles to the falls. If you park in the uppermost car park, there are toilets, but the path from there over a footbridge is, shall I say, more suited to the rambler, whereas the path up from the lower car park is okay for prams. Now settle down, everybody, it's almost time for my romantic tale. The winter's nights in the car are just too long to park up just because it's gone dark. Make some food and then hit the sack. Sometimes, if in the right location, you can go for a walk and explore, but that's not always possible. On occasion, if there is a nearby pub, I'll pop in for a quiet Guinness. One time I was sat reading a book on Welsh legends when an elderly couple spotted what I was reading and started to chat. The lady was very keen on the subject and recounted many local tales that she'd picked up over the years. One tale of love and tragedy centred around a tall waterfall and an archer, and I've been trying to match the tale to such a waterfall for years, and at last I think I've found a match. I thought that as only a few weeks ago it was St Dwyn Wednesday, which is celebrated in Wales as the Day of Lovers, and as we are now at St Valentines, I thought I'd make you aware of this story. The tale from way back when centres around two young lovers, Dylan and Gwen, who grew up together in a small hamlet at the base of a river valley. The pair played in the oak woodlands that followed the river to the top of the valley, where there was a huge waterfall. The children would play in the pools at the base of the falls, dangling their feet in the water, and even on a hot summer's day enjoying a dip in the cool, clear waters. The waterfall was their special place. The children were best of friends, but as they grew older, it soon became obvious to all that they were very deeply in love. Dylan grew strong and handsome and was renowned locally for his prowess with the bow. Gwen grew ever more beautiful every year. She had deep dark brown eyes and long flowing black hair, and although many had asked for her hand, she only had eyes for Dylan. The people of the village lived off the land and paid a portion of what they grew back to their local chieftain. One year, a very wet summer provided the village with a very poor harvest, and once they had paid their tithe to the chieftain, he had demanded a larger portion due to their meagre contribution. By winter, the villagers were starving, and in desperation, Dylan took his bow and went hunting within the oak woodlands. Initially, he brought back only small game, mostly rabbits and the odd grouse, which he shared out amongst his neighbours. But then the snows came, and it was many a week before he could again go on a hunt, by which time the villagers were desperate. When the snows eventually cleared, Dylan went on a hunt. After many an hour, he came across a large stag, and taking his bow, he let loose an arrow which pierced the beast's heart. Because of the size of the animal, Dylan butchered the stag, hiding parts to be collected again later, and carried his bounty back to the village. Unfortunately, the stag was being tracked by the chieftain and his men, and on finding the scene of Dylan's butchery, followed a trail of blood back to the village. Killing the chieftain's deer was punishable by death, but Dylan somehow managed to escape and made haste out of the valley and over the mountains. Gwen was heartbroken and was missing her Dylan. To make matters worse, she discovered she was carrying Dylan's child. As spring arrived, she would walk up the valley to the base of the waterfall that meant so much to them both, their special place. A large price had been placed on Dylan's capture, and many were out to find him and ingratiate themselves with their lord. Though Dylan was safe over the mountains, he missed Gwen so greatly that soon, being unable to stand being apart any longer, he set off back for home, where he knew she would be waiting for him. Unfortunately, Dylan had already been spotted by local farmers who gave cry. As Dylan followed the stream over the mountain to the top of the falls, he could see his darling Gwen sat on a large rock, and even from this great height he could see she was with child. As he leaned forward to shout to his beloved, he heard the voices of the men behind him. He stumbled and, on losing his footing, fell down to the base of the falls and sadly to his death. To the dismay of the distraught and weeping Gwen, the men took away Dylan's body to show to their lord and to collect their bounty. In deep mourning, Gwen returned home, but sadly never recovered from the death of her love. So sad was the tale that Aber Falls, a Welsh deity and hunter, marked the base of the falls that was so special to the lovers with the simple symbol of an archer. Though now worn by both water and time, it is still there if you look for it at the base of the falls. Well, we've come to the end of this video. Thank you all very much for watching. If you have liked it, then please give us a like and possibly subscribe, because subscribing is really good for us little channels. It does keep us going. It spurs us on. We do it as a hobby. We don't do it for money or anything like that. Well, that's it, I think. Yes, so I'll see you again shortly with a new video. Thank you all very, very much for watching. It's very much appreciated.